You're watching CBTV.
It's the Bodyplex Review with special guest Computer Steve, presented by CBI, Maxis Express Design, and Toothpasta Fun Shapes Polishing Nozzles by Smile Time. Now, your host, Bodyplex.
Welcome to CBTV and the Bodyplex Review, presented by CBI, Maxis Express Designs, and Toothpasta Fun Shapes Polishing Nozzles by Smile Time. CBI is Company Businesses Inc. Your company is our business. I'm your host, Bodyplex, as always, via satellite feed all the way from the Southeast USA. Comedy class of 2050, we have the one and only Computer Steve. How's it going, Steve?
Doing good down here, Raj. Feeling good.
That's great to hear. To be honest, I'm on the other end of that. I was a little agitated today, Steve.
What's that?
I had a lean pocket for lunch. Looked at the box. 9 grams of fat. Not lean. Especially when I'm out there getting the broccoli and lettuce. So here at the Bodyplex Review, the format is simple. One audio review, one video review. Today on audio, we have Algae Guck's 2020 release Curtains. And over on video, Nickelodeon's Monster Trucks. Now we have listened, we have watched, and now we'll give our reviews out of 10. Add those totals together and divide in half to get our official CBI approved rating for each piece. The goal here is to review everything, not just anything. And if you have any suggestions or if you'd like to submit to be featured in the CBTV Bodyplex Review, please reach out at our general email with subject CBTV to companybusinessesinc@gmail.com. We've got a lot of updates on this episode. Not only have we shortened the time, we also have a great new cover photo, more readable thanks to Naxter72, who wrote in saying, I can give some feedback on the thumbnail. It has way too many things, way too small going on. Thanks to Naxter72 for checking that out. Hopefully the design elements are a little bit larger this time around, more easy to read. Also, we have a new, more calculated, more focused voice, more understandable, clearer username Benjilio suggested, I like the unique presentations, but it's difficult to understand what's being said. So thanks to Ben, now we have this great new voice. If you haven't already noticed, Diane from Department Technicians has most graciously upgraded our glasses. Have you noticed that, Steve?
Yeah, it looked great on you.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I got them a couple weeks ago. I was thinking, I can't wait to bust these suckers out for F3.
I've been thinking about getting LASIK.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's holding you back, Steve?
Just general fear.
Another new update for this episode is we have our very own first real submission reviews. These aren't just things that Steve and I are coming up with. These are things that you, the people, the viewers at home, are sending in to our very first food or drink review, Mountain Dew Major Melon. So that'll be a great unbiased split-second review that we're going to be doing live alongside another user submission for a track from rapper Yelawolf. So we got a lot of jam-pack here, Steve. You ready to get going?
Let's get started.
All right, so first up on the docket, we have Algae Guck, Curtains, which is a great album that got submitted to us by Sob Rocket, one half of the outstanding Gainesville, Florida two-piece pop outfit, Ew. Sob introduces Curtains, an electronic-leaning approach to songwriting, for the seemingly unending surplus of hooks that they're sitting on there. How'd you feel about that, Steve? A lot of hooks on this album.
Yeah, it was very hooky. There was one track that really stuck out to me, hook-wise, Self-Sabotage. I loved the bass line.
Yeah.
Around the 2:20 mark, the title of the song, Self-Sabotage, keeps repeating, and it's staccato bass, just overlaying with the synth.
If anything, that's a great way to breach right into how great these drum machines and synths are on this album. It's a bit unconventional, I would think, but I love that dirty synth sound. How'd you feel about that, Steve?
I feel the exact same. The quality of the synth with the dirty tinge, set itself apart from a lot of other synth music
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like it's coming out of an amp that you found in a landfill.
And also it kind of, brings this distinctiveness to the sound, not only from the great hooks, but also, with those great synths and drum machines. Great choices, great uniqueness. If we want to talk about this album, it starts out with a cover, which I think is really the best way to get to know an artist, is to hear them play material written by others. Great cover of German songwriter Sybil Bayer, The End. But if you're familiar with Sybil Bayer, this is more like if Sybil was just cast by David Lynch for the new Twin Peaks limited series on Showtime.
It leaves you a little off balance for what's to come. When I first started listening to it, I enjoyed the somber tones of the baritone guitars, or just maybe they're just down tuned. You have no idea what's about to come around the corner.
Oh, absolutely not. From there, you get this nice 80s sound, which kind of brings me to one of my shining gems, the song Honey. When this song starts off, I feel like I just booted up Doom 2. Great vocals that really transformed this progression and took me away from the darkness of MS-DOS. If you couldn't tell by the name of the song, great food-related lyrics. Standout lyric for me was, smear some butter on your bread. Which, if you can't relate to that, I don't know.
I love bread.
Another one of my standout tracks from this album, which was this song Sing. Starts off with this nice 80s production, these drum machines, these greedy drums and synths. Pretty cool.
I feel like it was like a dark underbelly of Miami Vice or something,
Oh, yeah, for sure. I felt the same way. I felt, Gainesville, Florida's not exactly Miami, but I felt a bit more like I was back in Florida. I was about to take a trip on down to Universal Studios.
Cyber Floridian rust pop. That's the broader genre.
Kind of going away from those synths and those drum machines is this great usage of bass. Not a lot of people out there giving the love to the bass guitar.
Too much flea.
Another one of my shining gems for the album was this outro, Remains. I love this track. I don't know if you check this one out, Steve, but let's go ahead and put on a little bit of that one so you can hear what I mean. Now this track starts off. It's coming in, kicking right in with these backwards vocals. And just from my personal experience with this one, right off the bat, gave me a big case of the willies. How'd you feel about that, Steve?
Yeah, it was a little chilling. I love the ghostly swells of the vocals, like you said, and they had that in the other track, Mars Shining Gem, the song Special, and the beautiful vocals. It was like being trapped in a cybernetic nether realm.
But let's go ahead and move on to our stinkers, unless you had something else to say on your side, Steve.
I had a Precious Rose. Yeah, I just loved the vocal quality, just overall through the album. It was just such a nice juxtaposition with the dark instrumentals. I'll definitely be adding it to my Rhapsody Party playlist.
I'll be clicking follow on that party playlist, Steve. Maybe even adding to my Lil Wayne, Nirvana, and Sugarland. So let's move on to some stinkers. And this goes for a lot of artists nowadays when I hear something I like. But these albums are too short. I could use one or two more tracks on these suckers. What'd you feel about that, Steve? You like the length of this one?
I think you're exactly right. Could definitely use some more content. I'm excited. This is just something to, some guck to dip your toes into. It's a good start.
Taste of things to come. But I mean, hey, let's give the people what they want.
Merch,
Yeah, and that's right down to my next stinker. There was no merch. I'm looking all over the place. I'm looking for a t-shirt. I'm looking for a hoodie. I'm looking for a crew neck sweatshirt. A 5-panel camper hat. I can't find anything, let alone the music, which I support wholeheartedly. But I also love this name, and I would wear it as a clothing brand. You got this Algae Guck, and it makes me feel like I want to slap it on a keychain or something. How'd you feel about that, Steve?
Get some of those floating keychains.
It almost sounds like a maritime brand or like a boating brand. I could have a pair of river shoes.
Yeah, you'll never lose your Algae Guck sunglasses if you attach them to your Algae Guck floating keychain.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great name. A lot of room for merch. But that is really the extent of the stinkers on the album. I'd love to hear a full-length release from Algae Guck and Saab, but we'll have to wait and see. Any final thoughts from you, Steve?
Looking forward to the Guck.
We're gonna go ahead and move on to our reviews. From me, I'm gonna give it a solid 7 Gucks.
I'm gonna go a little bit higher than you. I thoroughly enjoyed this piece, so I'm going to give it an 8.5 Gucks.
8.5 Gucks. Oh, Steve, I'm no mathematician. I gotta get a calculator off for this kind of stuff. We're talking fractions here. Our unbiased CBI official rating, Algae Guck curtains, 7.75 out of 10. Really, I think it's well deserved here, Steve. I thought this was a great album.
Completely agree.
We are going to cut to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with our video review of Monster Trucks.
The destination for all things company businesses Inc. CBI.business, your one-stop shop for all new audio cassettes by $6.99 for the Moccasins by Kola Hak. Buy one now. CBI.business. Visit today.
We're going to go ahead and kick off our video review. Today, we have Nickelodeon Movies presents Monster Trucks. Quick setup for this movie. Company Terror was run by Reese Tennyson, played by host of Mental Samurai Rob Lowe, alongside geologist Dr. Jim Dowd, played by the star of 17 again, Tom Lennon. During a fracking accident, the company breaches into a subterranean water pocket, which is home to squid monsters that live off the oil underneath the surface of the earth.
I think they were immediately setting up the environmental message, but I loved it in a classic kids movie sense. It was a la Free Willy or Beethoven.
This movie opens up. We got these beautiful drone shots here. Comes right over the hill there, and you get to see this really cool Dodge truck. Yeah, I felt like I was right in the middle of a Dodge ad.
You know what I love about it? This was like a soundtrack that right from the get-go. You would expect them to do something with like some temporary music, but they came in and it was like you're watching the Paper Brigade.
Oh yeah, with that great orchestral score. I think that's a shining gem for me pretty much in any movie. I love a fun orchestral score. Keeping it contemporary is fine, as Monster Trucks did during some parts. I'll get onto that later. But like I was saying, they have this fracking incident, these monsters come out, and this oil crew just starts corralling these monsters, and we're introduced to Holt McElhaney, who you might know as Bill Tench from the crime show Mindhunters. And he's kind of the muscle of this whole Terravex oil operation, really the sole villain of the movie.
It felt kind of like the bad guys from Twister.
Oh yeah, they're there to kick the hero. Speaking of our hero, our main character, Trip, played by Lucas Till. You might recognize Lucas as Travis Brody in Hannah Montana the movie. Travis was a childhood friend of Miley's and her love interest in the film. Trip, a high school student who works at a junkyard with Mr. Weathers, played by Danny Glover. Most recently the recipient of the Dubai International Film Festival's Lifetime Achievement Award. And right off the bat, this movie wants you to know that Trip, Lucas Till, Travis Brody, Hannah Montana, knows his trucks. This fracking incident crushes a couple Dodge trucks, and they wheel this Dodge truck one into the junkyard. Danny Glover's character, Mr. Weathers, hands the crushed Dodge over to Trip so you can fix it on up. And that's when Trip and this monster, who's hidden out in the crushed Dodge, meet for the first time. And if your heart isn't melted, I think we're gonna both agree here, one of our shining gems for the movie was the character design of this monster. How'd you feel on your end, Steve?
That thing was so cute. It just blew Dougal out of the water for me personally.
Capital A, adorable. Some outstanding CGI work. This movie looked great, and these monsters look real cute. I was online looking for Monster Trucks plushies. I mean, these things are so cute. I want to snuggle one before I go to bed.
I'm surprised it didn't take off with merchandising.
Oh my gosh, I mean, this whole episode, I'll tell you that. So, Trip sees this thing, and he realizes, just like Steve and I did, how cute this character is. This creature, this monster. Trip's bonded with it, and actually names it Creech.
Puts the whole movie into play, getting the monster inside the truck.
And that's why I love this setup. The monster comes out at the drilling site. The monster hides in the truck. The truck goes to Trip. The monster's out of the truck. Then Trip puts the monster on the truck, and then he outfits his truck to house the monster and have it act sort of like an engine. And he takes this out for a spin. This is a little dual shot for me. One of my shining gems was just this great first monster truck scene. The monster's in the truck, is driving around. Great drone shots. You're really getting to see this thing in action. Then all of a sudden, we're getting my first big stinker of the movie, and that is this song that plays in the background by Hunter Hayes. All For You. This song just threw me off. I love the montage, the drone copter shots. I would have probably preferred some cooler monster truck music or some hard rock. I felt like I wasn't in the world of subterranean squid monsters and felt more like I was back on my phone surfing TikTok. How'd you feel about that one, Steve?
I thought they could have been stuck with the orchestral takes, have some galloping string section.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Kind of from this point on, everybody's sniffing around. They're looking for this missing monster. So it kind of just becomes a whole cat and mouse story with Trip, Creech, chased by this Terrafex oil shill Bill Tench, and the small town Sheriff Rick for this Sheriff Rick character. How'd you feel about it on your end, Steve?
But it was played by Barry Pepper. Barry Pepper. I mean, come on, I knew from the get-go what Barry Pepper was about.
Oh my gosh, I love this Barry Pepper. Trip goes to visit his estranged father, Wade, with his monster truck, no less, which I thought was a little odd. I don't know if you picked up on that, Steve, but they didn't really make it very hard to tell that there is a monster in this truck. And nobody seems to notice.
Everybody in this town, every citizen, is the most unobservant. Trip was taking the monster out on a drive, ran over 4 cars at a parking lot. I mean, his truck is pretty noticeable, but it's like nobody cared. But, these flaws are minor for this one.
Just little snickers here and there. But on the flip side of that, Wade actually turns Trip back over to Bill Tench, which leads me to one of my big shining gems for the film, which was all these great chase scenes. These were top-notch chase scenes. We're getting monster truck flips, like Steve said, monster trucks crushing cars, huge jumps. Even at some point, that monster truck is on the roof.
Yeah, the stunts were fantastic. It was like losing a wheel on the truck and then that tentacle reaching out to pull it back on. Little details like that.
Really great.
Wow.
No, it's really redefining what it means to be a monster truck. This thing can go anywhere. It's scaling walls. So, Tom Lennon and Rob Lowe, we get back to these two.
Whatever.
And they have these monsters in a couple tanks and they're performing experiments. Rob Lowe says he's going to dispose of the monster.
No trace.
That's my stinker.
Let's hear it, Steve.
Biggest stinker of all is Rob Lowe trying to fame this southern Texas oil tycoon accent.
Pretty
You
awful.
stretch the truth.
Rob Lowe, go take your class. My precious rose for the whole movie was Tom Lennon. His character was just goofing up in every scene. Every shot he was in, I found chuckling to myself. He was just a really shine.
Bringing that signature Tom Lennon style, I can't get enough. Steve's precious rose. Tom Lennon switches sides to try and help Trip devise a plan to save the monsters. Trip, along with help by Mr. Weathers and his high school pal Sam, start to outfit 2 more trucks for the remaining monsters. And this brings me to my precious rose of the movie, the performance of Sam Gelden by Tucker Albritzi, who you might recognize as Walt from Mr. Iglesias. He plays one of the only friends that Trip has in this movie. Only appears 3 times in the film, but a really standout performance all around. I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen during those 3 scenes, Steve.
See, I'm growing out my hair like you. Oh, people don't think we're brothers.
Really great performance. So from here, we've got these monsters outfitted in new trucks, and they're getting chased on. Steve, you pointed out this scream to me.
Classic.
Classic Wilhelm scream.
That last chase scene, that's one of the best I've ever seen. I'm not being generous. It was well shot. It was high octane.
You're absolutely right, Steve. That ending chase where these 3 trucks jump the entire mountain, one of, if not the best monster truck chase scenes I've ever seen. So the team of Trip, Tom Lennon, and even Sheriff Rick saved the day. Trip was talking to the monster Creech, and he says, "You were a good truck."
Wow.
Criticizing this movie if I could, because I really did enjoy this film. But maybe throwing in a little bit more monster truck mayhem.
I completely agree. I was gonna say it was a little lazy on the title name if they weren't gonna like commit to the idea of monster trucks that we know.
Yeah, and I think maybe there was some confusion there. There's probably a lot of viewers who thought, I'm going to see a movie about monster trucks, not a movie about monster trucks.
Whole premise of the film is like somebody had a dream and then made a movie.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. If you talk about dreams, you want to talk about a nightmare, this is another one of my stinkers. This huge box office bust. I mean, we're talking a $130 million budget, and Monster Trucks only brought in a little over $60 million in the box office, and that's all day. Maybe some PR problems here, and it's almost one stinker. There's no merch. There was no love given to this Creech character that was really cute, and I think that, Nickelodeon could have sold this character as a SpongeBob.
Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, maybe like you want to go out and get a Creech hat or a Creech collectible cup or something. Like I said, I don't really think that the people who had a resounding effect on it, I don't think that these were the truck fans. I think that these were people like me and Steve who just like a good thrill ride, and they did deliver on that. Let's go ahead and move on to our ratings. For me, I'm going to give it a big time 8 out of 10 monster trucks. It was underrated, and I was overjoyed to watch it. How'd you feel about that, Steve?
You don't even have to do any math today, because I was going to do the same score. 8.
This is the first ever, folks. Our unbiased official rating of Monster Trucks is an 8 out of 10. Congratulations to them. And undoubtedly watch this movie again. Might be replacing my Monster House, which I watch every 6 months.
It's a good idea.
We're going to go ahead and move on. Today we have a very special unbiased split-second review sponsored by Tooth Pasta Fun Shapes Polishing Nozzles by Smile Time. Talking those tots into picking up that toothbrush, taking its toll on you every morning and night? Kick up the fun factor with Fun Shapes Polishing Nozzles by Smile Time. No more convincing. Your kiddies are going to be skipping to the sink to load up their favorite toothbrush with official fun shapes in 3 sizes: angel hair, spaghetti, and thick spaghetti. Take your kids on a tour of Italy with Tooth Pasta Fun Shapes polishing nozzle upgrades such as linguine, fettuccine, and coming later this year, elbow macaroni. So say no more to the old world. The solution is just within reach. How? With Tooth Pasta Fun Shapes polishing nozzles, your kids will be asking you, "Can we brush our teeth now?" Today we have 2 submissions for review. James Watson from Savannah, Georgia, wrote in about his favorite song by Yelawolf, No Hands. Yelawolf is star of Peanut Butter Falcon alongside Zach Gottsigan, Dakota Johnson, Thomas Hayden Church, John Hawkes, Bruce Dern, and John Bernthal. That's a really great cast there. Alongside Yelawolf's No Hands, thanks to Aoife Estes for submitting our first ever food drink review. Today we have Mountain Dew Major Melon. You got it on your end, Steve?
Got it right here. But I gotta be honest with everyone, I thought we were gonna review Yelawolf Mountain Dew Mouse. So this is all gonna be very fresh for me.
Well, that's kind of the name of the game. We're going to do split-second review, and we're going to combine this into an unbiased split-second Yelawolf Mountain Dew review. So I'm going to go ahead and crack my Major Melon and put on this Yelawolf No Hands. I don't know if they got a skit here at the beginning.
No hands, I'm standing on top of a motherfucking 100 grand. I'm back to pussy big shit, bitch.
I think I got enough Mountain Dew. I think I got enough Yelawolf. No Hands.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this Mountain Dew, really. It's not as major as I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be radioactive.
Yeah, it kind of just tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. But I do want to point out how cool the artwork is on it. Really great artwork. right up the front. If you can check that out, that's I don't know if you're a fan of the military, but really played on this Major Melon thing with the military, kind of military gear on the outside there. But I love these wedges.
Yeah, it's like watermelon monsters.
Yeah, I love that. Could have fit right in on our movie review today. So let's go ahead and start off with the Yelawolf review. I thought it was fun.
You know, that was music. Wasn't too fond of the language.
A little angry, a little too emotional. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4 out of 10. How'd you feel about that, Steve?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it probably a 5.5 out of 10.
So that'll bring Yelawolf's No Hands to a 4.75 out of 10. And as far as our Mountain Dew Major Melon, I'm on the other side of Steve here. I actually like a good watermelon Jolly Rancher. It's really cool art. I'm gonna give it a 6. How do you feel about that, Steve?
I'm gonna go with a 5, just because I find it's just so much more average than I thought it was gonna be.
I'd say it's a great drink for the beach. If you don't mind a syrupy, sticky mouth. For Mountain Dew Major Melon, a 5.5. Those are pretty close together. I would say if Yelawolf was a drink, he'd be about here. Just want to say thank you to our viewers at home who submitted for this episode. And please keep sending us your suggestions. I hope you all have a berry pepper. That's it for us here at CBRI. I'm Bodyplex Steve. We'll see you later.
See you later.